Alright, what is up everyone? This is NinjaDeathStrike bringing you another Pokemon Black and White Wi-Fi battle. This is against my friend ChaosRuler from PLO. We split our earlier battles 1-1, so this is the deciding match. I'm using my standard team. He's going to bring a Sandstorm team. He leads with Excadrill because on our site, Excadrill with Sandstream active is banned, so he's got to set up his own sand. I knew that that's what he was going to go for, though, and since I saw that he had sand, he can't switch out or he'll be breaking the claws. So I'm just going to burn him and then take him out with a Hydro Pump on the next turn. So Excadrill is going to go down right away, which was fun for me. I'm up 6-5, and I don't have to deal with that thing, which is always nice. So now he's going to get a free switch. I believe he's going to bring Gliscor in. Yes. He brings in his Gliscor, and that was a really weird switch because usually Rotom is a perfect check to Gliscor, but you'll see in a minute he did have a reason to do it. He protects the first turn just to get his poison activated, and then I'm going to go for Hydro Pump again and miss, and he goes for Toxic, which is why he brought Gliscor in. That was a risky move, but it ended up paying off because now I can't keep Spook in indefinitely. But I have one more shot at a Hydro Pump, and I miss again. He predicted a switch there, and he goes for Earthquake, so it didn't take any damage, but still, missing 2 Hydro Pumps in a row was definitely irritating, especially for something that's supposed to be a perfect counter to the guy he has in. Anyhow, I'm going to predict the Protect here, as I know he'll want to rack up poison damage, so I'm going to take the opportunity to go out to Spike my Ferrothorn. Since he doesn't have Swords Dance, and he has Toxic instead, I know that he can't hurt me. I'm going to try to see how much a Power Whip does, but it only does about a quarter, less than that after Poison Heal. So this next turn, I'm just going to decide to Leech Seed it, and that'll cancel his Poison Heal ability. And that way I can just stay in here for as long as I want and set up entry hazards while he does nothing to me, essentially. Chaos realizes this isn't a good situation for him to be in, so he's going to switch out here and go into his Tyranitar, get his sand going, and I'm going to use the opportunity to set up a layer of spikes. Now, since he brought in T-Tar on Ferrothorn, I expected him to have a fire move, since all of them do nowadays, or it seems like it. So I'm going to switch back into Spook, predicting that. But instead, he goes for Dragon Dance. So now he's at +1, and I know that I need to burn it so that I can neutralize the threat that it's going to pose the rest of my team. And I'm fairly certain I can survive one attack because unlike most Rotoms, I run no special attack EVs in this one, and I run extra defense. So that extra defense is really going to pay off. It's going to allow me to live with just a sliver of health and get the burn. Sand's going to take me down, but it's okay because I was able to cripple his Tyranitar, and now I'm free to bring in whatever I want and set up on it. So I decided to go into Bad Horse, and right off the bat, I'm going to set up a Swords Dance as he goes for Stone Edge. Even though he's burned, it still does a decent amount, but not nearly enough to be able to 2-hit KO. And on the next turn, I'm just going to be able to close combat and destroy Tyranitar. So I figured he would probably bring Gliscor in here, and I was just going to Stone Edge for as much damage as I could, but instead he goes into Cacturn looking for some Sandvale hacks. He brought 2 Sandvale Pokemon, so I was definitely not happy to see that. But he goes for a Sucker Punch, gets some damage in. Unfortunately for him, it doesn't kill, and it activates my Justified ability, so I get another free attack boost. Sandvale doesn't kick in, and Bad Horse just wrecks Cacturn as well. So now Gliscor comes in, but I'm at +3, so I know Stone Edge is going to do a lot of damage. And he's going to end up living with just a tiny sliver of health and then be able to Earthquake and finish me off. But Bad Horse punched a huge hole into his team, and it's going to make it a lot easier for me to sweep with some of my other guys. So since I know that Gliscor can't do anything to the Shadow, I'm going to bring him in, predict the Protect, and set up a sub. And now I'm free to do whatever I want. I can pick off Gliscor if he leaves him in, and I'm going to be able to get damage on whatever else he might switch in. So he does decide to sack Gliscor, which is great because I take it out and I maintain my sub. And now he's down to just Hippowdon and Garchomp. So he chooses to bring in Hippowdon. Since I'm behind my sub, I don't have any reason to switch out or try anything tricky, so I just go right for a Shadow Ball. does about half, and he uses Ice Fang. He gets a crit, but since I was behind the sub, it didn't matter. And on this next turn, I'm going to be able to disable his Ice Fang and essentially make Hippowdon useless, since the only other attack he has is Earthquake, and the Shadow's not going to be affected by that. So I disable him on this turn, and now I'm going to set up another sub just in case he decides to switch out to Garchomp. I want to have a sub up in case I get screwed over by Sandvale going for an attack, but instead Chaos decides to stay in, slack off, and get back to full, which isn't a big deal because, like I said, he doesn't have an attack to hurt me, so he can stay in for as long as he wants. I'm just going to keep Shadow Balling now, since I have nothing to fear from this thing. If he wants to stay in and slack off, that's fine. Eventually, I'm going to get a special defense drop, and I'm going to be able to take it down. So Chaos realizes this, and he's going to switch out here, go into Garchomp, looking for some Sandvale hacks, and thankfully Shadow Ball hits. And so now I'm behind a sub, and I only need to hit one of my next 2 attacks to take this thing out. And so I just have to cross my fingers and hope I don't get screwed over by luck. But I don't. Both of my attacks hit, which is a freaking miracle. That never happens to me with Chomp. And I maintain my sub. His biggest threat bites it before it gets to do anything, which was fantastic. And now it's just Hippowdon left. I know I'm going to be able to take it out eventually. And luckily, I get the special defense drop on the first turn, so that's going to make it a lot easier. I won't have to sit here and stall now. I think I go for Disable this next turn. I'm not sure why I did that. I should have just Shadow Balled, since with a special defense drop, it definitely would have killed him. But I don't know. It doesn't really matter because I'm still faster, and on the next turn, I'm going to be able to take him out with my final Shadow Ball. So that was a really good match, Chaos. It was a good series of battles. We split 2-1 in my favor, but I'll give you guys a link to his channel in my description. He's trying to get his own channel going, so check him out and stay tuned for more battles coming your way soon. Bye, guys.